Tabasco. Born in Louisiana in 1868, Tabasco claims to be the first mass-produced commercial hot sauce. Tabasco peppers themselves come from Mexico, and some say that the McIlhenny family smuggled the original seeds and started growing them on Avery Island in Louisiana. The peppers are aged for up to 3 years in oak barrels, which contributes to the sauce's flavor profile. And there are several varieties beyond the original red sauce. Tabasco has also been a staple in U.S. military rations since the 1960s, and its heat levels are between 2,000 to 5,000 Scoville heat units. Sriracha. In 1932, a woman from the town of Sriracha in Thailand moved to Bangkok and began producing and selling her own hot sauce after being blessed by a monk to do so. The monk also suggested she name it after her hometown of Sriracha, and the sauce quickly became popular across Thailand. A few decades later, in the 80s, a Vietnamese refugee made his own version of this sauce in Los Angeles and found the Rooster Sauce brand, which started producing the globally famous version. Sriracha has a moderately building heat of 1,000 to 3,000 Scoville heat units. Piri piri sauce. Portuguese explorers brought tiny bird's-eye chilies from South America to Africa in the 15th century, where they thrived in Mozambique and Angola. The name piri piri comes from the Swahili word for pepper. Traditionally, it's a marinade for chicken, combining chilies, garlic, lemon, and oil. While bottled versions are usually mild, some homemade recipes can hit over 50,000 Scoville heat units. Nando's took this sauce global in the 1990s, but purists argue that real piri piri must be grilled over wood, not an oven. Harissa. Created in the Maghreb region of Africa after chili peppers were introduced from the Americas, this chili paste is extremely popular in Tunisia, Morocco, and Libya. The name harissa comes from the Arabic verb harassa, meaning to crush, referring to how the peppers are ground into paste. Harissa has a huge range of varieties. The store-bought kind is usually as hot as Tabasco, but some restaurant versions can be extremely spicy, reaching up to 20,000 Scoville heat units. Gochujang. Developed in Korea after the Portuguese introduced them to peppers from the New World, this sauce gets very deep flavors due to a very long aging process that traditionally lasts for months or even years. The use of sweet rice gives it a slightly sweet flavor. It's not as aggressively spicy as sauces like Tabasco, but the heat builds slowly and stays with you longer because it's mixed with other flavors. Sambal. There are at least 212 variants of sambal in Indonesia alone, with hundreds more found worldwide. It's typically made from a mix of chilies, garlic, shallots, lime juice, shrimp paste, and a splash of vinegar. Chunky and packed with flavor, this paste is integral to many Southeast Asian cuisines. Traditional sambals max out at around 100,000 Scoville heat units, using native Indonesian peppers like cabai rawit or cabai gendo. But modern sambal makers have pushed into super hot territory by using peppers from other parts of the world. Scotch bonnet sauce. Named because its shape looks like a Scottish tam o' shanter hat, the Scotch bonnet pepper is a cousin of the habanero. It's insanely hot but also sweet and fruity. Old Caribbean folklore says the pepper's heat could chase away evil spirits in the kitchen. It tastes sweet when you first bite in, but the heat quickly goes up to 100,000 to 350,000 Scoville units, about 70 times hotter than a habanero. Ají sauce. Ají peppers were cultivated in South America over 7,000 years ago, and were a staple of Incan cuisine. The word ají itself comes from the Taino language, one of the first native words Columbus brought back to Europe. The ají sauce contains ají peppers, oil, tomatoes, cilantro, garlic, onions, and water. It is served as a condiment to complement main dishes popular in Latin American cuisines, and prepared by blending its ingredients using a food processor or blender. Although recipes can vary from person to person, there are generally country-specific and region-specific varieties. The peppers range between 30,000 to 50,000 Scoville units. Chili crisp. Chili crisp is a crunchy, spicy oil packed with fried garlic, shallots, and chilies. It's been a staple in Chinese kitchens for decades and can be added into almost anything. In the 1990s, it broke out of home kitchens when street vendors started bottling their own versions, and later became global. People drip it on dumplings, noodles, avocado toast, and even ice cream. Shatter. Shatter is believed to have originated in the Levant or Yemen. It's common in the Middle East and made by crushing red or green chili peppers and then fermenting them with salt for several days. Common additions include garlic, vinegar, lemon juice, or olive oil. The texture of the paste can range from ground and pourable to chunky, depending on how it's processed. The peppers can be chopped, passed through a food processor, or pounded by mortar and pestle. Liudaozhang. This Chinese sauce is used everywhere in China, especially in Sichuan cuisine. Traditional liudaozhang combines chili peppers with fermented soybeans, garlic, ginger, and oil. It's less crunchy than chili crisp and is usually cooked into dishes as a base sauce, rather than used as a topping.